Hey, it's Jared. Welcome to my comprehensive review of the Rodecaster Video, a new product from Rode that's geared towards live streamers, whether you are producing podcasts, gaming live streams, or perhaps you just want a tool that manages both your audio and your video. The Rodecaster Video is that device. Now, I have a long history of using Rode products, specifically their microphones and the Rodecaster Pro, which is their audio mixer that's geared towards podcasting, but can be used for a variety of different things. And I've just really enjoyed the innovation that Rode has brought to the space of wireless audio and microphones. There are a lot of other companies making similar products, but Rode really has been the company that has started pushing all of this forward with on-camera shotgun microphones, wireless lapels, all of that stuff. Rode has always been at the forefront of it. So I was excited to get an opportunity to spend some time with the Rodecaster Video. Full disclosure, I was sent this device to test, and I do get to keep the device, but Rode has not paid me, or do they get to see this video first or have any influence over the video at all. At times, I do get access to products that I think are interesting, and it gives me an opportunity to share them with all of you, because it's hard to put out a bunch of money on products that I already have, maybe something that does a similar feature set but doesn't do everything that the Rodecaster Video has. It could end up costing a lot of money to be able to produce these kind of videos, so I appreciate Rode sending me this to test. So let's talk about what this device is and a quick overview of some of the features as we dive in. This is a audio and video switching device, and you could use this with multiple cameras, multiple audio sources, and it gives you complete control over that to output a very nice, well put together video for live streaming or recording. It's an all-in-one device that manages all of that in one console, which saves you from having to have multiple things on your desktop with lots of additional cables, and often most of those devices don't talk to each other. So this handles video switching, audio mixing, and streaming all in one package. And the person that they had in mind when they created this device is most likely content creators, live streamers, and video producers who need a complex but compact all-in-one solution. So the build quality of this device is really nice. It has a little bit of heft to it. It's solid enough to sit here on the table. You can see I have some pretty big HDMI cables connected to the back of this. Most other devices that were lighter weight, the cables would just pull the device right off the table. These are pretty heavy cables, and don't ask me why I have such thick HDMI cables. They just happen to be the ones that I have, but they're very heavy HDMI cables, and the device holds up really well, and I don't feel like it's about to slide off of the table. It's very sturdy. It's a well-built device, and I feel like this is going to last a long time, even under heavy usage. So let's look at its key features. Let's first talk about the video capabilities. You can see that I have 4 HDMI cameras connected to the back of the device. It also supports 2 additional cameras over USB-C. We have 6 buttons here for video switching, and that supports the 4 HDMI and 2 USB-C. Of course, HDMI cameras, easy, you just connect. It's plug and play in that way. All of my cameras are shooting and outputting 4K, and this device is down converting it to HD for local capture and for live streaming. This is an HD device, and I'll talk more about those specs as we get a little bit further into it. The 2 USB ports that are available for cameras as well will support webcam protocol, and so that means if you have a webcam, a PTZ style camera that supports USB, or maybe even a more modern mirrorless camera that supports webcam streaming over USB, like a Sony mirrorless camera, you can connect those cameras as well, and you switch those cameras just as you would your HDMI cameras. There's 7 buttons for scene selection, which we can customize scenes on the device, and then we can also customize them in Rodecaster Central from our computer. It also has built-in chroma keying, which happens on device. That means you don't have to be connected to a computer to key out a green or a blue screen. It's very easy to manage that right from the console. As far as audio features, the Rodecaster Video has the Revolution preamps that you would find in the Rodecaster Pro audio mixer. It has wireless microphone support, and it also has the built-in Apex audio processing that I know I've come to love, that's also found in the Rodecaster Pro. Now, the user interface is a touchscreen, a high-resolution touchscreen that makes it easy to navigate, and there's a knob here for switching between items as well. I can push and also access these menus and switch between different things very easily. So this device can be operated. You don't have to have it connected to Rode Central on your computer. As you can see, I am connected over a USB-C to my computer, and I can manage Rode Central over there, but I can manage everything standalone on this device. This device is meant to be configured and set up and used in the field solo, not connected to any computer. And all of that is easily manageable from the front panel here. As far as streaming and recording, you can live stream directly from this device. You can see here that I'm actually recording. I'm recording to this SSD. So I'm not only recording a live version of what I'm switching, so as I move between all of these different scenes and camera angles, a video file is being recorded to the SSD, but I could be live streaming that out also. And I can live stream over Wi-Fi because this device has built-in Wi-Fi, as well as Ethernet. I can live stream out. I don't have to do that through a computer. I can do it solo from this device, putting everything on the device and leaving a computer either behind or free to do other things. Now, not only is a video file being recorded to the SSD, but I'm getting ISO files for each of the channels that I'm recording as well. So on the SSD is going to be a finalized video, as well as each of these individual video channels along with their audio sources. So let's talk a little bit about software and connectivity. Obviously, this device is standalone and has built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and also Ethernet. And so it can connect to Wi-Fi, live stream without being connected to any other sort of device, either over Wi-Fi or Ethernet. And then it has Bluetooth connectivity for connecting to other devices that you can pull in audio sources from. And then of course you can connect it to pretty much any other streaming tool out there as well, so it's a fully supported device. So let's take a look at the Rodecaster video in action. I've been utilizing it this entire video, and as you can see, we've got one camera here. We can switch to a secondary camera, which is a top-down camera. We then have a third angle camera available, and then I have a fourth angle camera as well. All of these are Blackmagic cameras coming in over HDMI. Now, in and of itself, it's fantastic to be able to switch between these. You can see I'm doing hard cuts. If I switch to auto, now I can do fades. And so I've got a transition set here. You can see it's a fade transition for 0.5 seconds. And as I transition between these just by auto cutting, it's going to apply that transition. Now there's lots of different transitions that I can choose from, such as a wipe transition. And so if I switch to that, now I have a wipe transition between all of the cameras, and then I can easily switch back to fade and set that as my default. Now, I also have custom scenes that I can build as well. And so if I switch to A, you can see here that we have the top-down camera with an overlay of me down in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, I can easily build out all of these scenes using the Rode Central application. And you can see here, I've got that scene, and I can click on camera and I can move this camera around and resize any of these and position them wherever I want. And you can see I could even type in the custom size. So I've got it set as a square right now, but I can also stretch this out and go back to the normal video aspect ratio just as I stretch this out and reconfigure that. Very easy to make changes to these scenes. I can then switch to another one that I have saved here, which is all of my cameras. And so I have all of my angles. And as you can see here, like everything is in sync. Everything looks good. And it's all handling that on this device. It's not doing anything on the computer other than just allowing me to see it in Rode Central. And then if I switch over to C, I can see I just have a background image here and a video of me down in the left-hand corner. Now, if I want to make changes to any of these, I could change the scene type here. There's a ton of pre-programmed in scene types. And so I can set, say, my background to that background image. I can set A to camera 1, and I could set B to camera 2. And I've got that set up. And then it's just really easy for me to cut between all of these different camera angles. You can see I even have the video set as the background here. And so lots of overlay opportunities here for your cameras. You can see, as I'm showing you the preview, there's some information on the screen from the cameras. That's actually from the cameras. It's not from the Rodecaster video. My main camera has a clean feed, but my other 3 cameras have information on the screen, such as the time code, the shutter angle, all of that stuff, because those cameras I typically am not live streaming out. And so that's just my preview. I just wanted to say that so that you didn't think that that was information that the Rodecaster video was producing. So this is a pretty easy device to use. Now, if I'm not connected to a computer and don't have access to Rode Central, I can also customize all of those scenes right from the Rodecaster video also. So let's say that I want to choose a different option. Let's go ahead and choose let's say a big side-by-side here. You can see I've got camera 1 set to that. Let's go to camera B and we'll select that one. So camera 1, camera 2. Now for the background, I can go ahead and select an item that is stored in the memory as far as media goes. Let's go ahead and select B for that, and we'll turn that off. Go back to box A and set that to camera 1 and hit OK. And now that we have this scene set up, let's go ahead and press and hold an option to save that. You can see that we saved it to scene E. Now that I have this configured, let's go ahead and hit the checkbox so that we have that set up, and then I'm going to go ahead and press and hold to write this to the E bank, and it will save it to E, and then I can switch between all of these different options, and you can see I created an entire scene right from the Rodecaster video itself. And so all of that can be done here. This is a standalone device, doesn't require the software, but it definitely helps and speeds up the process to use the Rode Central app. Let's take a look at audio mixing. Simply press down here and you have access to all of your audio sources. And so I'm switching through each of the audio sources. If I turn this microphone on, you can see now I have audio on the wireless as well as HDMI 1. And I can come in here and customize these by changing the effects that are added to each audio source. And so I could adjust those here. I can also adjust the gain. So I have gain set on auto for this wireless microphone. But if I go back to HDMI, you can see that I just have it set. I don't have it set to auto. And so I can customize that on a per channel basis, which is great. I can also add or remove channels. So if I needed to add another USB channel or remove one so that I can have room for another wireless item, I can do that all from this device, including pairing additional wireless microphones to the Rodecaster video. Now, if I want a bit more control, I could jump over to Rode Central and go into the audio mixer. And here in the audio mixer, you can see I get a visual display of all of the audio that's coming in through all of my devices. I can control those audio levels here. I can control the processing and everything, as well as what devices are linked up. It tells me that I'm connected to an Interview Pro. It shows me how much battery life I have left, as well as the signal strength. And then I can apply the processing here also. I could come into a Bluetooth device and I could turn Bluetooth on and then connect to a Bluetooth device. We also have USB audio, audio for video clips that might be stored as media that we would play back, and then the ability to combine multiple audio sources into a combo as well, where you can see here we set the audio types and then link a couple of them together in order to produce a combo feed. It's great to have all of this functionality. We also can set a frame delay. So say you have video coming in and the audio that's being captured here, there's a little bit of a delay. That can happen sometimes due to the length of your cables, the type of video equipment that you're using. And so the ability to set a frame delay in here is great because it will help you resync the audio up with the video so that you don't have any problems there. Now, there are a couple ways to store what you're recording. I have an SSD plugged in and I can record everything here, but you can also record to a micro SD card as well. The micro SD card is in the back of this device, and the micro SD card can also be used for storing external media. So if I had images, video files, audio files that I wanted to be able to map to buttons and trigger those things as overlays, I can set that up by dragging those files into Rode Central. It copies those files over to your Rodecaster video so that you could program them to specific media buttons and deploy them throughout your show as necessary. And this actually supports layering. And so if you had multiple images, perhaps a lower third and text and an image and all of that stuff, you can layer those things together. I think it supports up to 9 layers. And so it's pretty amazing how much you can stack on a screen and do all of that right from within the Rodecaster video. Now, the easiest way to configure your Rodecaster video to connect it to a streaming service is actually to use the Rode Central application for that. You simply go into the Rode Central application and log in and easily connect to YouTube, Twitter or X, Facebook Live, or any of those services that are provided. And then, of course, you can also connect using a stream key as well and connecting that to whatever software that you might be doing your live streaming through. As I mentioned with audio support, there's a ton of audio options for this device. We have the 2 XLR inputs on the back, which allow you to connect pod mics or different Rode microphones, but it also supports any XLR microphone as well, and it's easily customizable and controllable within the Rodecaster video settings. We also have 2 HDMI outputs for monitors, so we could have a preview and a multi-view monitor if you'd like. We have 4 HDMI inputs, which support obviously cameras, laptops, pretty much anything with an HDMI output can go in here and you can display that as one of the channels. And then 2 USB options as well for video. We do have several USB ports on the back. They don't have to be all used for cameras. They could be used for connecting to your computer, connecting to an SSD, connecting to other audio sources as well. We have 2 1/4-inch headphone output jacks and also 1/4-inch outputs for monitors as well. So you can use this to go right out to speakers and have that audio going straight out either to studio monitors or speakers out to a live audience. We have our micro SD card slot, and right below that is the Ethernet port. We have USB power, which it comes with its own power adapter, and it's really smart that they added this. There's a little clip that you insert into the device, and it makes it really hard for you to accidentally unplug this device. And so you can see here, I am tugging on this pretty good, and I'm not going to lose power connectivity to the device. And so they thought through that. What happens if you lose power? The device dies. So let's make sure that it's tied down and you don't have any issues there. We also have the antennas, which are what our wireless devices connect to. So lastly, on audio, if you need additional audio support beyond the channels that are available here, you can connect a Rodecaster Pro to this device. And so pairing it with a Rodecaster Pro gives you complete control over your audio. You then bring that into the Rodecaster Video, and between those 2 different devices, you could have a pretty robust set. But obviously the Rodecaster Video is designed to handle a lot of that on its own, making it an all-in-one, simple, compact solution. So what are the strengths of this device? Obviously, it's the compact nature and the fact that everything is handled on board. There are other devices like this. I have a lot of experience using Blackmagic ATEM devices, and those are all onboard devices as well. But what this device gives us is the ability to create and manage different scenes, manage our media, and all of that stuff right from the device. That's something that we don't see in pretty much any other compact device like this. And I have seen a few that do offer that, but the deployment of that is definitely challenging and not easy to use given the controls that are on those devices. The Rodecaster Video, very easy to use, and then of course with Rode Central, makes it even easier. It being an all-in-one device means minimal clutter and cabling to accomplish a well-polished show. Now, no product is without its limitations. There are definitely a few little things that are struggles with the device. For example, if I'm looking at my preview monitor, I have 4 cameras up and I have 5 scenes on display, and everything is a little jittery. The camera views, so camera 1, 2, 3, and 4, are they refresh a bit faster, but the scenes don't refresh very fast. It's kind of jittery. What I love is that I'm getting a preview. I can see all of those scenes and I can see which scene looks like what, and I know what I'm going to get when I switch between these different scenes. But the previews are a little jittery. I'm sure the processing that is involved in being able to display all of that information at once is pretty intense, and so the frame rate is lowered down a bit so that you can get the video preview without crashing the system and having all of those different scenes and all of those different camera live views. But it is definitely something that you have to accept as a feature that's great to have, but it definitely would be better if everything was completely live and not a bit jittery. It's not the end of the world. It's not affecting the functionality. It's just something that I notice. Now, I think they did a really good job thinking through how to utilize this device from the small display. It takes a little bit of practice and spending time kind of digging around, remembering where everything is. This obviously doesn't have any labels. You kind of have to memorize what each of these buttons do, and then just figure out, and muscle memory will get you there. As you spend more time with your device, you'll understand where to go, what to configure, because there just isn't enough room on this little screen for a whole lot of words to describe what is taking place or what you're about to change. Now, I do understand that most devices don't even have a screen at all, so if you want any visual feedback at all, you tend to have to go to an external piece of software for that. So I don't really see that as a negative. I just know that I'm gonna have to spend a bit more time to make sure that I'm completely familiarized with the user interface. So how much does this cost? Well, at the time of launch, it's about $1,200 here in the US. That is a little pricey for a device, especially when you can get 6-channel, 4 or 8-channel devices for less than that. But what this accomplishes really is a lot. If you're wanting to produce a live stream, you have to figure out how you're going to switch your video channels. You have to figure out your audio. You're thinking about different devices that don't talk to each other. So how do I connect those? You're dealing with line noise and other issues that can be developed by connecting different devices together, which is usually going to result in syncing options. And it can be just kind of a pain in the butt. So you end up looking to software on your computer to tie everything together and bring everything into one cohesive place, and that's a bit challenging. It's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of potential failure points. With the Rodecaster Video, I've had this device run all all day long. I've tried to make it crash by switching between different things quickly, just banging between different scenes, and just really trying to make it frustrated and even overheat. And this device just, I mean, I've been running this for hours today and it's not that hot. It's a little warm on the bottom. I can feel warmth, but it's not hot by any means. This device runs cool. I never hear the fans go on really, except for when it first starts up, you can hear the fans come on and you know that they're there. But if the fans are running, I can't hear it. I mean, here we've got our microphone here. Let's do the top down. And let's just see if we can hear anything. I can't really hear anything coming from this device. I can hear noise coming from the rest of my office, but not from this device. So considering the fact that it's doing as much as it is, I think it's running pretty darn cool. And you would need a lot of other devices to make happen what the Rodecaster Video is doing here in one console. So that's where I think the true value for the dollar is in the Rodecaster Video, and the fact that you need a video switcher, an audio mixer, something for your wireless microphones to connect to, probably an interface, an audio interface for bringing in other audio channels. All of those things would have to come into something. You probably would just run them into your computer and use OBS, and you'd have to deal with syncing issues and all of that stuff and making sure everything connected, and a computer that has enough PCIe lanes in order to support all of those inbound sources, and just lots of moving parts that typically present a challenge for someone that wants a robust system to produce a nice looking video feed. So let's bring this all back together. The key features of this device is its all-in-one built-in nature that utilizes video inputs for live video switching, scene building and scene selection, and advanced audio processing all in one device. My opinion so far of the Rodecaster Video is that it does a fantastic job. It is a version 1 device. This is the first version of this device. Now, I did get the ability to see one of these in person several months ago when it was in beta, and it's come so far since then with all of the features and capabilities that it has. And Rode is known for adding features and functionality to their devices over firmware. We've seen a lot of that take place with the Rodecaster Pro, and we'll definitely see a lot of that take place with the Rodecaster Video as well. So there's going to be more value added on top of what you're already getting from this device. So I feel secure so far with utilizing this in a streaming environment where I'm relying on this device to take and handle everything and push that out over a live stream. So far, I've seen no issues, and there's nothing that makes me think that I would end up having anything, even drop frames or dropped audio in the middle of a live stream. But the person I think would benefit most from this device is the person who kind of does it all by themselves. Now, I have a pretty popular video on this channel about creating a multi-camera live stream on my own and how I put that together. A device like this does everything that I was doing, but basically in one device. And so it minimizes all of the frustrations of multi-device and trying to figure out all of these things and make things talk, make things work together, and puts that into one package. So if you're wanting to produce a video podcast that has good audio, a couple of camera angles, this is going to be a great option for you. If you're live streaming smaller events with a couple of different cameras and a few audio sources, perfect device for that. If you're wanting to just simply record a finished switched video by live switching your video and having a video output to the SSD that you can upload to YouTube, you can do that. There's so much there, and all those tools are easily controlled by the solo video creator, and that's, I think, is what this device is geared towards. An easy platform for one person to operate to handle both video, audio, and everything all in one. So I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comment section below. This is a pretty robust device, and I kind of breezed over a lot of features and maybe even missed some. So if you have any questions or thoughts, share them down in the comment section below. I've got links to this product in the description. Click on those links to see the pricing and availability and all of that good stuff, as well as some of the accessories that you can get for it. I definitely appreciate when you click on those links because it helps support the channel. But what supports the channel even more is when you click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching it all the way through. I hope to see you back in another one soon. Take care.